Ilhan Omar doesn't regret comparing America and Israel to terrorist groups like the Taliban. And instead of apologizing for her history of anti-Semitic comments, Omar launched a new attack on Jewish members of Congress who have condemned her.
Do you regret these comments?
I don't. I have welcomed any time, my colleagues have asked to have a conversation, to learn from them, for them to learn from me. I think it's really important for these members to realize that they haven't been partners in injustice. They haven't been, equally engaging in seeking justice around the world.
And Omar isn't getting any support from the White House.
Any attempt to draw an equivalency between the United States and our close ally Israel with a terror group like Hamas or the Taliban is false and unacceptable. Representative Omar has said that was not her intent of her comments, but those certainly are not comments that we've made from here.
Harold, so does she help the White House? Because in a way, by being so radical, the White House looks more moderate by comparison when she says these things.
Clearly, she does not help the White House. She doesn't help Democrats. And I would argue, if you try to look at her words in the most favorable light, that she's indeed looking to bring about a solution to challenges in the Middle East, she doesn't help that cause either. I think, in fact, she pushes back the opportunity or chances of finding any kind of common ground. In fact, I don't quite understand what she's saying. I mean, the first thing, it sounded as if her words on paper sounded as if she was drawing an equivalency between us, the United States, and terror organizations, as well as our most important ally and reliable ally in the region. She then suggested it maybe not, and then it sounds as if she's saying that is not the case. She's making herself a candidate for some sort of action in the Congress if these are the kinds of things that she believes, meaning a removal from the committee, I think has to be thought about if indeed she shares these views. I heard the words or saw the words, and I saw what I believe was a recanting on her part. Now I'm simply confused.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're going to need a peacemaker caucus within the Democratic side here sooner rather than later if we can't get to some bottom of this.
It's pretty interesting, Dana. I don't know her total history, but that she did flee a country, Somalia, and then she comes to the freest country on earth. But her criticism is always kind of like born of like America being oppressive. So she fled a truly oppressive experience and comes here, but sees us as somehow more impressive than anything out there.
And I think that's one of the reasons why what Harold's saying, I think is very true, is that she's completely unpersuasive.
Yeah.
For people that would to listen to her, if she had points that she could make that were persuasive about what she's trying to achieve, which I understand would be a homeland for Palestinians.
Yeah.
Is that what she's looking for? That's not what she says.
Yeah.
So basically, it's almost like, for example, Gwen Berry, right, at the podium where when she's getting the medal, or when she got third.
Third.
So that's totally unpersuasive. Like, you're not able to stand up and say, I love this country. And because I love this country, I would really love for us to stand up for justice. And I think that these people deserve better justice. And I want to work for that. If she was saying that, then the White House wouldn't have to say repeatedly, like every 2 weeks, we actually don't agree with that, and that's not something we would say. And I don't think that she deserves a pass any longer. This has it's happened over and over again.
Katie, it must be challenging for the media who are bending over backwards not to criticize her because, they want her to just shut up. Maybe you can become president and your brother can be first dude. Who knows?
Well, the media gets accused of Islamophobia every time that they criticize her, so she uses that as a shield for her own bigotry. But this is a woman who is on the Foreign Affairs Committee in the House. She leads a subcommittee under that committee. She is dealing with real policy issues that affect allies like Israel while making this insane moral equivalence between the United States, Israel, and U.S. government, State Department sanctioned and put on lists of terrorist organizations around the world. Terrorist organizations that we have fought wars over, that Americans have died fighting against, people who have attacked us here on our own soil. So it is far beyond time that not just Jewish Democrats in the House condemn her, but people like, I don't know, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, because last time this happened 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was some condemnation. Then Nancy Pelosi went on the Sunday shows and said, really, actually, I'm not condemning her, so please don't misconstrue that. But then today you had Ilhan Omar trying to kind of walk this back on her Twitter feed with this gobbledygook of intersectionality and justice. And in her original remarks, she said that Jewish colleagues of hers in the House have not been good partners in justice. Well, what does that mean to her? Does that mean taking away funding for the Iron Dome that protects millions of Israeli lives and Palestinian lives and Arab lives in Israel? Is that what that means? Does a partner in justice mean eliminating Israel from the map? Is that what she means by that? And we have enough history based on her statements that that's exactly what she means.
You know, Jesse, every side has an extreme. Right, an extreme person. You're one of ours.
Extremist.
Yes. The difference here is the media excuses the left extreme. They're very quick to call out the extremists on the right, but somehow the left gets to go much further until it's no longer tenable.
Right. There's kooks in both sides.
Yeah.
But their kooks are always hating this country. Our kooks don't hate the country. They just have other issues. But she is the naughtiest in her caucus. She's been spanked now by the White House. I believe Pelosi's office spanked her in a press release. So she's having a tough year. I'm going to look at her in an unfavorable light, Harold, and I'm going to take those comments she made literally. The Taliban condones atrocities. They condone raping and stoning women, attacks against children, attacks against civilians. The United States does not condone any of that. So she says that she's all about she suffered injustice. Maybe she did. She probably suffered a little. But then, as a refugee, this country rescued her, brought her here, and we elected her into the Congress. We pay for her health care. We pay her salary, yet she's violating all sorts of ethics laws and immigration laws, according to reports. So CNN's trying to rehab her, and it blew up in their face. They expected her to say, yes, I don't believe that, and she just flat out rejected it. So they have a problem, and it's their problem, and it's fun to watch.
It certainly is.